Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is another video from the Set 4 Revival, Set 4.5 officially. This time we're going to be looking at one of the other team compositions that's one of the strongest options here. This is the first official patch that's been applied to the Set Revival. That's looking at a team composition that plays through Zed, so a Zed-based team composition. And our initial encounter is with Annie, and it looks like all of the augments are going to be gold this game, which is, I think, the Vander encounter in the standard set. Basically, here in the Set Revival, it's all of the same encounters, they just have a different champion that stands there in the center of the little firework graphics that goes off. Okay, so we're going to be looking at Zed. I generally do not like playing this unit. Zed is basically an assassin, even though he actually does not have the assassin trait, but he, for all intents and purposes, functions like an assassin unit. And we're going to just build a team composition around this particular unit. I did not have any particular team composition in mind when I was playing this game, so I was just trying to like grab random stuff on the board. I thought, when you get a Brand and a Maokai start, along with the Twisted Fate dropping, in theory you should be thinking about playing into mages, because that's kind of what you're getting the champions for. But unfortunately, the Set Revival still is not very well balanced, and mages are just almost unplayable unless you just get the most high roll of high roll starts. But, so like, as much as I'd like to go in that direction, I like kind of can't in this game. So I don't really have anything thus far, and I was just trying to figure out, well, okay, what the heck do I do? Maybe I could play a cultist setup. Like, I do have the pieces for something that's cultist, so I'm just, again, trying to buy up portions of the board. You could also say, well, you've got a Vladimir there, why not try to play Siphoner trait with Nasus? But Siphoner's pretty bad until you can get into, like, Morgana and Swain, and they're 4 and 5 cost units, so early Siphoner is, like, not really a thing, unfortunately. As I said, this Set Revival is a lot of fun. I've always loved Set... I really liked Set 4. It's just not very well balanced. All right, I was hoping that my augment would give me some direction. I did think about Epoch here, but there wasn't really anything I wanted to reroll for just yet. So I'm looking through these different options. And then I see Slayer's Resolve. When your Slayers take or deal damage, they gain 2 stacking armor and magic resistance for the rest of combat. Gain a pike and a Zed. And I was like, oh, you know what? It could be a Zed game. I could go ahead and do this because this will give me a pike and a Zed. So again, you got that. It is when they, this augment specifically means when Slayer units deal or take damage, they get stacking armor and magic resistance. So it's kind of like they get a free Titan's Resolve for all intents and purposes. You could think of it as being a little bit like that. They kind of get like a free Titans. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and put some of these units on the board. Part of the reason why this is a good spot to play Zed from is, number one, I've got this augment that's going to give Zed additional armor and magic resistance the longer combat goes on. But the other reason is I actually already have the items. I already have one of Zed's 3 key items in my inventory here at the start of the game. And that's a Rage Blade. This is an item that is... Zed basically has no... there's like not really much flexibility in terms of what items you put on Zed. You pretty much always want to make the exact same 3 items, and one of them is a Rage Blade. The other 2 are, and this is not going to be surprising if you've watched my other videos on Set 4.5, the other 2 items are Quicksilver Sash and Edge of Night. And by the way, there's a second Zed, so I was like, oh, all right, okay, cool. Got a good start here. Let's go. I've already got 2 Zeds already here on stage 2-2. Now I just need to find some of the units that we play around Zed, and we'll be off and rolling. So yeah, Zed is an auto attacker, and that means he needs the Rage Blade because he has to stack up attack speed so he can scale throughout the course of the fight. And then as a melee champion, anytime in Set 4.5 you're trying to play through a melee champion, you really need Quicksilver Sash and you need Edge of Night. You kind of need them on almost anyone. So if you may have watched the video that I did with Yasuo when I played a duelist team composition, what items did I put on Yasuo? I put an Edge of Night, a Quicksilver Sash, and then I had a Bloodthirster so he could get some lifesteal. Zed does not need a lifesteal item because the Slayer trait innately will give him lifesteal. Now, I will need another Slayer unit in to activate the Slayer trait, but... if I can get a chosen Zed, and that's certainly what I'm looking for here, Zed is guaranteed to roll Slayer as his chosen trait. That's because his 2 traits are Ninja and Slayer, and you can't double Ninja trait as a chosen benefit. Like, it's just not possible. He can't double that trait. So he will always get 2 to the Slayer trait when you find him as a chosen. And then you can play him alongside Pike, and that will get you Slayer trait, because Pike has Assassin and Slayer trait. Also Cultist trait, but that's not going to be meaningful for this game. Now, there is actually a Darius in my store, and what I really should have done is I should have bought the Darius just to put Slayer trait in until I actually find the chosen Zed. So I really should have done that, because Slayer trait will put lifesteal in place for the Zed, and he actually needs that quite badly because I'm not going to be itemizing lifesteal on him. But I almost never played through the Slayer trait. I didn't really play through it a lot back when I played the original set, and like there's really no Slayer units you want to play in this set. Like normally the only one that's kind of playable is Zed. You can do these Zed-based compositions, and they're pretty strong. But like all the other Slayers are pretty weak. I mean, I guess Samira in the late game is pretty good, but like you don't play her for Slayer trait. You play her for Sharpshooter trait when you're playing the Spirit plus Sharpshooters board. So I just like don't really think to click on the Slayer units, even though I should be doing that in this particular game. Anyway, I do have good carousel priority, so I want to take either half of an Edge of Night or half of a Quicksilver Sash. And so I decide, okay, you know what? I can get a Nico that's on a 3. I can get a Nico that has half of that Quicksilver Sash, and that's on a 3-cost champion to sell. So I'll take that. I could have taken the glove, but it was on a 2 gold champion. So I'd rather take the... With me having no knowledge whatsoever on what my future items are going to be when they drop, I'm just going to take the more expensive champion that's on, and then I'll go ahead and level to level 5. I'm basically trying to get to level 6 because Zed is a 2-cost unit, and on level 6, then I'll have good odds to find Zed chosen and good odds just to find Zed on his own. Okay, since we just did the carousel, let's go ahead and cover Zed's specific ability here. Zed does not have any mana in this set. He's one of the very few units that has no mana whatsoever, so he has no official ability. That's why he's entirely auto-attack focused and why he needs that Rage Blade. So his innate ability is that he will always jump to the back line at the start of combat. Again, he basically functions like Assassin, although he does not have Assassin trait. Very confusing. I'm not exactly sure why he was designed this way. So he's basically like an Assassin, but he doesn't have the trait, which is really weird. Okay, so he always jumps to the back line at the start of combat. And then here's his passive ability. Every third attack deals bonus magic damage and steals 30% of the target's current attack damage. So he is a ramping unit that scales over the course of the fight. Every third attack deals bonus magic damage and steals some of the target's attack damage. So he can kind of like suck attack damage away from enemy units. So you want him to be attacking nonstop. Again, that's why the Rage Blade. And you want him not to get interrupted by crowd control, which is why the Quicksilver Sash is so important on him. And then the Edge of Night you want because it gives him the aggression drop. Again, he'll get stacking AD over the course of the fight, so he doesn't need an item like Infinity Edge or like Hand of Justice or whatever, something like that. Like, he doesn't need those because he gets stacking AD over the course of the fight anyway. So again, it's Rage Blade, Quicksilver Sash, Edge of Night. He always wants those 3 items. If you are not playing those 3 items, he will not be nearly as effective as he is going to be with those items. I've used this example in the past. I'll use it again. Back in the music set in set 10, Annie was the 1-cost unit, and it's like if you had her perfect items, she would be like an absolute monster in terms of what she performs. But if she had anything other than her perfect items, she'd just be like this very mediocre unit. And Zed's kind of like that too. If you build him correctly, he becomes really strong. But if you just give him like okay items, he just doesn't really do a whole lot. So we are definitely going to be greeting for perfect items on Zed. So we did get the Zed early on. Now we need to build the rest of the team around him. And it's a very straightforward build. It's extremely easy to put together. You play Zed, and then you play him together with Pike, because Pike will get you the Slayer trait, as I mentioned. Once we find a Zed chosen, we'll get +2 Slayer from that, and then with Pike we get the Slayer trait in. And then in addition to that, you play all the Spirit units, because again, Spirit's really broken. I've said this in probably every single video I've done on the set revival. Spirit is extremely overtuned. So you play the 4 Spirit units. That is, the only one we found thus far is Diana. So you play with Diana, with Teemo, with Yumi, and with Kindred. Those are the 4 Spirit units. If you play all 4 of them together, then you will get Spirit 4, and that gives, once they cast their abilities, every single time they cast their ability for the first time, they will give the team 30% attack speed if you have Spirit 4 in. So if they all 4 cast their abilities, it's 120% attack speed, which is exactly what Zed wants, of course, because he needs attack speed so he can keep auto-attacking and do his damage. So it's just natural to play Zed together with the 4 Spirit, which, as I've already mentioned, is a very overpowered setup here. Now, I'm trying to itemize some stuff for Diana as well, because she's the only Spirit unit I found. She slots very nicely into this comp. You want to play Spirit anyway, and she has Assassin trait, so together with the Pike, it puts Assassin trait in play, and then you have 3 Assassins jumping into the back line. Unfortunately, I have not found any of the other Spirit units thus far, none of them. Now, I have a Teemo Chosen in my store, but that's no good. I need just Teemo, not a Teemo Chosen, because I need to have a Zed Chosen in this game. So I've actually lost 4 rounds in a row, and I'm really not finding the units. Remember how I had 2 Zeds at like the start of the game? I had 2 Zeds on 2-2. Well, I've never found the 3rd Zed. I haven't found the 3rd Diana, and I haven't found a single other Spirit unit yet. So it's a little bit rough in terms of how that goes. For my second augment, again, they're all going to be gold this game because we had that Annie encounter. I thought about the one on the right that would give me additional Omnivamp. But then I opted to take Starry Night instead. It means that 1 and 2 cost units can appear as 2 stars in your shop. So like I actually just got that right there. I got a 2-star version of Diana in my shop automatically. This only can happen to 1 and 2 cost units though. It cannot happen to more expensive units. You can't get it for 3, 4, or 5 cost units. And you'll see this throughout the game as my shop will now, like the Tristana just rolled as a 2-star unit as well. So this will, in theory, help me find more Zeds. And like there's a Zed, so I'm finally going to get Zed 2-star, but unfortunately that was not a chosen Zed. So I was actually rolling here a little bit on level 5 because I was just trying to find a 2-star Zed. I wanted to get a 2-star Zed to try to staunch kind of the bleeding from the situation I was in before looking to go to level 6. And then on level 6, I'm going to try to roll a little bit further for the Zed, for a Zed chosen. But like, yeah, I'm not exactly finding these. And you can see this person's also playing Zed, and they have like a 2-star Zed with like better units around them. Although I actually don't like how they've itemized their Zed especially much. They actually have over-itemized lifesteal, and they don't have enough attack speed on that Zed. So we're going to look for this, but I would not say I'm particularly high rolling thus far. I'm actually having pretty lousy luck at finding the stuff I'm looking for here. So, yeah, I mean, like, there's a Shen here, so I guess I could technically play Shen, except, oh, wait, no, I can't play Shen, because then I have 2 ninjas in. Yeah, I can't play him, because I need to have only 1 ninja on the board at a time. So I really should just pick up the Darius. I think it was about this point in time, I was like, oh, yeah, you know what, I'm taking forever to find Zed. I might as well just play Slayer trait for the time being so I can get that Omnivamp in play and give Zed some lifesteal. But, like, you can see, oh, man, I'm seeing so many 2-star, so many units going 2-star, but I'm not finding anything that I want to play. I guess I found another Diana there, but like I can't find Zed, I can't find Pike, I can't find Teemo. I think I've seen 2 Teemo Chosens, but not a single actual Teemo thus far. And of course, I haven't found the Zed. I haven't found the Zed Chosen yet either, which I have pretty good odds to do at this point in time. On level 5, you have good odds to find the 2-cost Chosens. So, like, I'm rolling here, and I'm just like, what is going on? This is, like, the most epic low roll. I can't find any of the other Spirit units. I haven't found 1 Teemo. I haven't found 1 Yuumi. I haven't found 1 Kindred. Like, what is going on here? I actually do have the option to take a spatula, but like I'm hurting so badly here, I don't actually want the spatula. There's not really a whole lot I could do with the spatula. I could make another unit into an assassin. That would probably be the best use for it. But I don't really need, I don't really need spatulas that badly with this team composition. I guess I could turn another unit into a Slayer, but it's like I want to play Pike and Zed anyway. And I'm never going to get up to like 6 Slayers. Yeah, so I guess I just turn someone into an assassin. I guess I could turn like Kindred or Teemo into an assassin, but I'm probably not going to get up to 4 assassins. I don't know. This isn't a team competition where I need to get a spatula super badly. So I just take the ability to make the Quicksilver Sash right away. And I couldn't have made anything with that right away either. Okay, at least we're finally going to find the Kindred here so we can get Spirit Trade in play. Still no Teemo, by the way. And then I'll level and put the Janna back in as well, though Janna's not actually doing anything in terms of traits. And like I could buy this Darius here, but again, I'm going to sell the Darius as soon as I find a Zed Chosen. So there's not really much point in grabbing a whole bunch of Dariuses here because I'm just going to sell him as soon as I find a Zed Chosen. But like I just continue to not be able to find the units I'm looking for. It's been a pretty epic low roll thus far, and I'm all the way down on 56 HP, which is not where I want to be. it is kind of hilarious that I jump on top of the Aurelian Soul and kill it very quickly. But like that's a 2-star Shyvana with Dragon Soul trait in play. We're not going to be able to kill that. So we're going to lose this round as well. And I've lost 7 rounds in a row. It's like I was like, I don't typically play Zed. Am I like building the board incorrectly or something? But no, I'm actually not building the board incorrectly. I'm just having immense amounts of difficulty finding my units. But I do finally find the Zed Chosen. So now I can get the Zed Chosen on the board. I can drop the Darius. I no longer need him. And for the time being, I don't really have another unit to play. So I'll just put 2 Zeds on the board for right now. And like, can I find more of my units? Okay, there we go. And there's my Starry Night kicking in and giving me real value. It just instantly gives me a 2-star Teemo. So I went from having no Teemos to having a 2-star Teemo instantly. That's really, really nice. So Starry Night's not one that I pick very often. You only really can take it with reroll comps, and it's only good if you're rerolling for 1 and 2 cost units. It's no good if you're rolling for 3 cost units because it doesn't give them a benefit. But this is actually a team composition where this can work because I am going to be getting a lot of 1 and 2 cost units, and I'm going to try to 3-star all of them if I can. So, of course, Zed we're going to try to 3-star. We're going to try to 3-star the Diana. I already have 7 Dianas. We can try to 3-star the Pike. We can try to 3-star the Teemo. We can try to 3-star Janna, who we're going to slot on this board as a utility unit. And we'll just go from there. I'd like to try to 3-star all these units if I can, because, like, why not? So anyway, that's, like I said, the board. It's Zed plus Pike. And then you add the 4 Spirit units, and then you just toss in Mystic and other utility units. Or if you hit like a really good 5 cost, you can just put a random 5 cost on the board. But because you're going to be re-rolling at low levels for a long time, you're probably not going to find a lot of 5 costs with this board. It really is more about just putting together a team composition that is mostly low cost units. Okay, so by the way, I have and there's a 2-star Janna that just instantly pops up in my store. So I actually already have 5 Jannas, but I can't get Janna on the board just yet. I still need to find Yuumi. Oh wait, never mind, that's not true. I do have Janna on the board, but I'm going to pull her off the board here so I can play Yuumi and get the 4 Spirit in, because as we already know, 4 Spirit is like super broken. Now I have extra items here, so I was like, all right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a Quicksilver Sash. I'm going to do a Hand of Justice and then a Quicksilver Sash. And I'm going to put that on Diana together with the Ionic Spark. Diana does magic damage, and the Ionic Spark is actually pretty good on her because it means that she's going to magic shred. She's going to get the magic resist shred on whatever unit she's actually attacking. And I'm going to use Diana as my secondary carry for right now. As a 1-cost unit, she will fall off as the game goes on, but she's going to be pretty effective for this point in time. And it also helps that she jumps into the back line right next to Zed, so they can kind of focus targets together. So I don't regret making these items on Diana at all. I actually believe I ended that player's win streak over there who's playing the Cultist board. So now we're finally starting to stabilize here. It just took forever to hit my units because I just couldn't find them for whatever reason. But now I finally do have them. Okay, so let's see what we can get. Again, final augment is gold because they're all gold. Little Buddies is useless here. We're not going to play 4 and 5 cost champions. Thought about Pandora's items. That's certainly a possibility here. I was like, okay, you know what? Let's go ahead and take this. And I found myself taking Pandora's items a lot here in the set revival. And that's because this is a set where you really do need to have like very, very specific items on a lot of your units. Like, as I said, Zed needs to have like these perfect items or else the setup doesn't work. So we're just going to stay here on level 6 until we can hit the Zed 3-star. I actually have 6 Jannas on my bench right now, but I can't get her on the board because I have to play the 4 Spirit and I have to play the Slayers, and that eats up every single slot on my board. So I'd really like to play Janna, but I don't want to level to level 7 because then it's going to be harder to find like more Zeds. It's going to be harder to find more Dianas. I really want to hit at least the Diana 2-star, the Diana 3-star and the Zed 3-star before I look to go to level 7, and that's the plan as far as that goes. And now I finally have Zed's perfect items, so he now has the Rage Blade, the Quicksilver Sash, and the Edge of Night for the aggression drop, which are exactly the items he wants. Kudos to me for getting that. And I went ahead and stuffed the belt on Teemo because I want to make a Morello's on Teemo because I currently do not have any anti-heal on my board, and that'll give my team a source of that as well. With Pandora's items, I can basically guarantee that I'll get what I need eventually. Okay, there's another Zed. There's a 2-star Kindred. Excellent. Unfortunately, I'm starting to run out of bench space here. Again, we'll stop here at 50 gold. We can afford to be patient for right now. If I was a little lower on health, I might not be so able to be so patient, but that's the goal for right now. I do wish I could hit like one more Diana. I wish I could hit like the 2-star Diana, because I would really like to just clear out that bench space and make room for more units. The fact that I'm holding 6 Jannas on the bench that I'm not playing is really cramping how much space I have right now. Anyway, there's lots of boards that look like this. Here's somebody playing a Fabled comp that's working through Nico, and like you can see what happens. We just jump on Nico instantly and start killing the Nico. Yuumi jumps in and tries to save the situation, the enemy Yuumi, but it's not going to be enough. And so we should be able to finish taking down this board. You can see how much healing a 2-star Yuumi does, by the way. 2-star Yuumi does quite a bit, but we're still going to win this round. They have no chance to win this round the minute we jump on top of the Nico. And that is going to take us out to a 4-match win streak. And boy, as soon as I got the 2-star Zed, I started winning pretty quickly, didn't I? Now, here there's another spatula, and I actually would take this spatula because it would give me another Diana. It would actually put me on 8 Dianas, and now I could look to make, like, an assassin spat. But that's going to get taken. Then I really love the Zillion. I'd be happy to take that because that would get me that Morello's I'm trying to make. Plus, it would give me a Zillion, who I'd be happy to play later on. But that's not available either, so I'll just take the Samira and just, I have Pandora's items. My items can re-roll into anything I want. So we'll just take this for 5 gold. That gives me more gold to roll with, and it denies the rest of the field the opportunity to play Samira. I can't remember if anyone was playing Spirit Sharpshooters in this game, but at the very least, it's going to allow me to take another unit out of the pool. Okay, so now I'm on 8 Dianas. I was like, can I get one more Diana? I'm actually going to pass up buying a Teemo there, because I just don't have bench space for it right now. I was like, okay, can we... All right, now there's a Kindred. I was like, do I want to make room for Kindred? I was like, all right, fine, we'll take that. And then the Yuumi comes back. I could have had Yuumi 2-star. I was like, can I just hit the last Diana to give me some bench space, please? And then it's like, all right, it might look like that's the last Diana, but no, it's a Fiora. I've always thought Fiora and Diana look too much alike in this set. So there's another Teemo here, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll sell the Kindred to make room for Teemo here, because I really am rolling for 1 and 2 cost units right now. I always hate it when you get the bad sequencing like this and you just run out of bench space to play your units. Would really, really be nice if we could just hit that last Diana or hit a 2-star Zed in the shop. That would be nice as well. The Starry Night odds to get a 2-star unit in the shop, it depends on your level. And I believe at level 6 it's 25% odds. So like whenever a 1 or 2 cost unit rolls, it's 25% odds to go 2-star. All right, there we go. Now we finally clear out some bench space and we can start picking up pikes. And we'll just keep rolling here. All right, well there's a Kindred. I'll go ahead and pick that up. And then we'll go ahead and stop for the time being. So I'm still on 7 Zeds. I need to get the remaining Zeds. And once that happens, I could potentially look to start leveling. By the way, I'm not especially close to the pike 3-star right now. But, you know, if I see a 2-star pike in my shop, suddenly I can go from 4 pikes up to 7 pikes. So we might as well grab them. As long as we have bench space, I'm going to grab these. I'm going to keep leaning on the Starry Night. This is a round I would really like to win, so I can carry my win streak all the way through to the minion stage. And it looks like I have pretty good odds to do that because we kill the Callista instantaneously. So the only unit we don't have to worry about is the Yasuo. But I've got a... What is it? I've got the 3-star Diana, and he only has a 1-star Yasuo, so I think we've got this, and boom, there we go. So I actually win 6 rounds in a row. After losing all those rounds early in the game, the minute that my board actually started to come together, I'm able to go on a 6-match winning streak, because Zed actually is quite strong. And I still don't even have 3-star Zed yet. I've actually, again, had pretty bad luck in terms of actually hitting Zed in this game. All right, now there's a pike, so I was like, do I sell something to make room for a pike? I was like, all right, I guess so, because I'm not really close to the Kindred. And there, once again, I still don't have a 2-star Yuumi. So I have to keep skipping this. Again, I really feel like I had kind of a low roll performance here in terms of what I was actually hitting. All right, so we'll keep rolling here, and once again, nothing more. But at least I'm finally up to the 8 Zeds. Just like, I'm just not hitting my units very well at all, so I'm like forcing my way into this build. But it still does seem to be working because Zed's really quite strong at the moment if you build him correctly. And we're going to get some more items. Okay, I can't do anything with that cloak. And there, once again, I could have Yuumi 2-star, but I'm out of the stupid bench space. All right, finally, there we go. There's the Zed. The Zed 3-star, that's the most important unit. And I'm going to go ahead and pull a tier because I'd like to make a blue for Teemo. If Teemo doesn't get focused in the fights, he'll actually survive. And, all right, there is another Kindred and a Teemo. And again, you might notice I'm still rolling here. Again, I'm trying to 3-star more of these units on my bench. Rather than look to go to the next level. The only thing that's going to happen when I go to level 7 is I'm going to put Janna on the board. But like I said, I really would like to try to hit more pikes and more Teemos because I really want to try to 3-star both of those units as well. I guess I still have decent odds to 3-star them on level 7. I think the odds for the 2 costs go from 40% to, I think they go to 33% or something like that. By the way, Zed dueling here with Shyvana, who wins. Looks like Zed wins, because he's now a 3-star unit, and he is very, very strong. So I guess I could try to level, but I just wanted to keep rolling here. Again, I have the best odds to hit see the 2-cost units here on level 6, and I just wanted to keep rolling for them because I have Starry Night. I'm actually not far off hitting Teemo or Pike. I just need one of the Starry Nights to pop up for them, plus finding one more copy of the unit, and then I have a 3-star unit. So I'm really not far off. And, okay, well, that's not the version. But, all right, now, see, and then I get it right there. Like, I just got 4 pikes in one shop. Just like that, I got 4 pikes in one shop. So I was like, okay, do I now look to level, or do I roll a bit more? I'm trying to remember if I leveled here, or if I thought that I had enough. I think I might have leveled here because I thought that if I could just find one more Starry Night Teemo, then I'd have the Teemo 3-star. But, you know, now I have the 3-star Pike, and that's going to be pretty useful as well. Pike's ability doesn't really do a whole lot of damage, but what Pike does do is he puts a big stun on the board. He dashes across the board and he stuns enemy units that happen to be in it. Again, it doesn't really do much damage. It's kind of a utility ability, but it's quite useful, especially on a board like mine that has very little in the way of crowd control. Now, we're actually up against the other Zed player, and they're actually going to beat me this round, so that's kind of disappointing. They are playing the ninja version of the comp. That's another way you can build this. Instead of playing through Spirit, it plays through 4 Ninja instead. I don't think it's as strong of a board, but it certainly did beat me there, which was a little surprising because they don't have 3-star Zed yet. But yeah, they did end up beating me in that game, or in that particular round. And again, I don't have a lot of health to play around with because my early game was so bad. I really don't have lots of health to play around with. Okay, so I was rolling for the Teemo. I don't hit the Teemo. Instead, I hit the Janna. And so at that point, I was like, okay, well, I guess I might as well play the Janna. I actually, by the way, have 11 Jannas because I was sitting on 8 of them, and then I got another 3-star Janna. I got another 2-star Janna in my shop via Starry Night, so I ended up with 11 Jannas, which is a little bit silly. I can sell the extra 2 for another 4 gold, and I think I do that in a minute or so. But yeah, so now I have 3-star Janna as well, and again, she's a useful utility unit. By playing her on this board, she gives me Mystic Trait, and she also just puts shields on people. She's just a very useful unit. You've probably seen me playing Janna in like half of the games that I've done because Mystic is just such a useful trait to have, and you can play it on almost every board. I mean, that's a Cultist 9 board, but we made it look like it didn't even exist in that round because Cultist 9 is actually not very strong at all in this particular build. But yeah, and you saw me move some of the items around too. I put a Morello's on Pike. He actually applies Morello's pretty well, but I figure a 3-star Pike, probably better to have these items than a 2-star Teemo. Because remember, Pike also has that, he also Slayer trait, so he also does get that bonus armor and magic resistance that stacks up over the course of the fight. So we have another carousel here, and I am going to be first pick, so I can actually get what I want. And I see that there's a Quicksilver Sash, and it's on an Azir, so I can sell this for 5 gold, and also get an item that's quite useful. So I am happy to take the Quicksilver Sash. That can definitely go on somebody. If I hit more Kindreds, it can go on Kindred. I was actually thinking of itemizing Kindred, but I haven't really seen that many Kindreds in this game. I think I had to pass on like one of them because they didn't have enough enough bench space to hold everything. But you know, I'm on 5. It's not unrealistic to think I could get to 9 of them by the end of the game and get Kindred 3-star. But Quicksilver Sash is just such a good item. Like, you want it on somebody. You can see I have 3 Quicksilver Sashes on my board, and I don't regret having 3 of them at all because there's so much crowd control in this set. Now that we're starting to get into the late game, I'm going to do a little bit more in terms of positioning. I haven't really been focused on that too much, but it is something that's quite important to do. Anytime you're playing an assassin board, and that's basically what this is, even though Zed doesn't have assassin trait. Anytime you're playing assassin, you really have to focus on positioning your units because assassins deal a ton of damage, but they are always very frail units. By the way, Zed is dueling Yasuo here, which is pretty funny. He's actually going to win the fight against Zed, but unfortunately Kallista's getting all those spears in him, so Kallista's going to pop those spears any second now. And that happens, and Zed goes down, so now it's up to Pike to carry the fight. Can Pike win this fight? He's got the Morellos, he's got the Quicksilver Sash, he's killing the enemy Shen. There's an enemy Set over there who's trying to pile driver him, but that Slayer lifesteal, oh, I thought Pike was going to clutch it out, but he didn't quite have enough to finish that one off. Oof, that's a bit of a shame. Anyway, as I was saying, though, assassins deal a lot of damage, but they're very frail units. And there we go. There was a Starry Night Teemo in the shop. So as soon as I see that, I was like, okay, well, I'll move the blue buff back to Teemo. I'm going to move the Morellos back to Teemo. Now he's a 3-star. And I'll put the Quicksilver Sash on him as well because I want him to stay alive. If he can just get off like 2 shots of poison in every fight, I will be very, very pleased. Because remember, 3-star Teemo is still a 4.5 second blind. Oh, no, they cut the duration of his blind in the patch, didn't they? I think now it's down to a 3-second blind. Hold on, let me see. I don't know. I think they cut it down to... I was looking at a reference sheet here, but it still had the 4.5 seconds. I think they reduced it somewhat. I think it's down to like a 3-second blind or something like that. But, you know, he can poison and blind a significant chunk of the enemy team. And it's just very valuable having him there. So I don't mind itemizing him at all. If I hit more Kindreds, maybe I'll itemize Kindred. But it's Teemo as the unit I hit there. And again, I finally got big value from Starry Night by hitting the 2-star Teemo in my shop as I jumped from 6 Teemos to 9 Teemos immediately. Well, that wasn't an amazing stage 5. I went win, loss, win, loss, win, which is like not quite what you want. But overall, it wasn't too bad. And I have managed to 3-star all of my 1 and 2 cost units, right? I've got 3-star Janna, Zed, Pyke, Diana, and Teemo. So now Starry Night's done its work. And the only thing that matters at this point is we can try to reroll for Kindred 3-star, which would not be bad, although at the moment I don't have items for Kindred 3-star. Or we could look to go to a higher level and just play more total units. Because we are still only level 7, which is not like the highest level. Definitely not the highest level. So I decided I would roll here and just like kind of see what I found. I was hoping I would find more Kindreds here. Well, at least we do have Yuumi 2-star. But I'll pick up these Nikos that can give me a rank of Mystic trait, which would not be terrible. And then I hit the 2-star Nico, so I was like, okay, you know, am I seeing Kindred here? Let's roll to 40. There's a Yone, but that's not going to do anything for my board. I was like, okay, you know what? We're just going to level to level 8, and I'm just going to put the Nico on the board for another rank of Mystic. And then I get the chance to pull another item, and I was like, okay, well, if I'm not playing through Kindred, let's make it so Janna casts more often. Janna is providing so much utility. Janna 3-star is what? Now, they nerfed her from the initial patch a little bit. What is it? She shields the 4 lowest health allies for 350 shield, and then allies also gain bonus 60% bonus attack damage for the duration. That's really valuable if she puts the shield on Zed. Like, that's a huge benefit. All right, now it's down to Teemo. Can 3-star Teemo win this fight with Kalista? Oh, well, Teemo actually did die, but then his ticking poison killed the Kalista after he was dead. So a very, very close fight, but I did ultimately manage to win that. By the way, I think I lose that if I don't have 3 Mystic in for the extra magic resistance, so I'll definitely take that. And at this point in time, the lobby's getting very, very shrunken down, so I'm pretty confident that I will not be able to get to level 9 in this game. So I'm just going to roll here on level 8. If I could find a Zilean, that would be amazing. I'd take out the Nico and play Zilean. But otherwise, I'm just trying to find the remaining couple Kindreds. And if I can't find them, it's not the end of the world. There's just not much else I can play on this board. Like, I don't really need more damage. I kind of just need more utility. I guess I could try to go with Frontline, but like, what would I even play for Frontline? Like a random... Like, I don't know, if I found Ornn, maybe I would play him just so he could make me an artifact item. That would not be terrible, but like, what is a random Sejuani gonna do? Or a random Aatrox without Vanguard trade-in? Not a whole lot. Alright, I'm up against the enemy Zed, but this is the other Zed board. Did you see what happened? I had an Edge of Night, and they did not have an Edge of Night on their Zed. So the two Zeds were hitting each other, and their Zed was actually going to win, but then Edge of Night triggered, and his Zed turned off to attack a different target, thus allowing my Zed to win the fight. So yeah, Zed versus Zed. As I said, I do believe that the Spirit version of Zed is stronger than the 4 Ninja. It's also easier to play, because the 4 Ninja requires you to find Shen, who's a 4 cost, whereas this just requires you to find the Spirit units, which are only 1, 2, and 3 cost units. Now, that said, I had terrible luck finding the Spirit units in this game, but it's still easier to play the Spirit unit, bad luck notwithstanding. Now, this fight's pretty interesting. I'm up against this is the Fabled Nico board, and this was really giving me a weird feeling of deja vu, because in the game right before this one, in the game I previously posted to YouTube, I was playing a Fabled Nico board, and at the end of the game, I was up against a Zed comp, and now I was literally playing the exact opposite side of that matchup here. And I actually played these games back-to-back. I put them up on YouTube a couple days apart, but I actually played these games literally back-to-back in the same playing session, so it was very, very odd. This fight is so clutch on Zed's part, though. He goes low over and over and over again, but he never quite dies, and he stays alive on 10,000. Deals 10,000 damage and stays alive on like 10% HP. So what a clutch fight from Zed there. Awesome, awesome stuff. Once again, I think he dies if I don't have 3 Mystic in, so hooray for me for putting Nico on the board. Now, the thing I most wanted there was the Zilean with the Enlightened emblem. That would be awesome. I would take out Nico and play Zilean, and then I'd slap the Enlightened emblem on him. I would actually get Enlightened trait because I'm playing Janna. That is not a possibility, though, because it gets snapped up, unsurprisingly. So I will go ahead and take this Archangel Staff and put it on Janna. That means if the fight drags out and Janna can stay alive, Janna's going to get bigger shields off over the course of the fight, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now, I'm going to be up against the other Zed player here. So I'm going to be doing this bizarre positioning. Again, my utility units are up in the front row because they're going to be dodging the assassins on the other side. I'm going to put Nico in the back row just to soak up damage as a sacrificial unit. Similarly, the other person is putting their Shen in the back row, who is their tank. I mean, the stupidity of when both people are playing assassins, you see some really weird stuff. But I'm hoping that the Teemo and the Janna can avoid getting targeted here. Now Janna's not so lucky, but Teemo actually is avoiding getting focused here, and he's actually doing a lot of work. Zed goes low, but he's going to survive again, and that's going to be enough for me to win this fight and knock out this player. And then, how's my Ghost doing? Oh, my Ghost is still alive. Go, Ghost Zed. Go, Ghost Zed. Now, there is the thing about Nico. She's very weak at single target damage. Yeah, Nico's got the big area of effect ability, but she is not good in 1v1 combat. And so Zed is going to win this, and my Ghost knocks out the other player. And that's going to be enough for first place, as my Feather Knight has a Teemo statue through his head. So, all right, that's a Zed game there for you. You know, for as badly as it went in the early stages of the game, once my board came online, it really did feel quite strong. So, Starry Night Zed, who would have thought? Actually, turns out that it works pretty well. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, take care, folks, and I'll see you again soon.